Nyarika is a Huichol Indian word that means spiritual portal, an opening. And to me, that's what being in nature and observing nature has been, an opening. It's an opening for your healing, an opening for the soul. And so I imagine myself, I guess, taking care of olive trees and people dropping in on me and helping out with the gardening, and then I'll look at their blood. And we can look for zucchini in their blood or whatever, or apples.
Are you a religious person?
Not formally, no. I was raised as an Irish Catholic with altar boy tendencies, and I can still recite verbatim long texts of Latin that I have no understanding of what it means. But that was an interesting thing that I remember going to church and smelling the incense and everyone, this angelic choir singing, and I remember just wanting to participate. I was maybe 3 or 4, and I started saying mayonnaise, 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 and my hand went over my mouth. My dad was shushing me up because I was singing very loudly with a lot of conviction, mayonnaise. Because it was all mayonnaise to me. I just was all Latin, and I didn't understand it. But it was a certain uplifting quality to that non-literal meaning of words that drew me not only into poetry and writing, but also into just the way I think, even spirituality. So to me, religion is mayonnaise.
Still.
Yeah, well, spirituality is different. Religion and spirituality, I think, are very different things. And I think I had greatly admired in Native American religion and spirituality, and I think Celtic spirituality and their overall approach to life, and very animistic. There's everything, life and everything. And if you, in fact, Dogs on Mars is a 400-page epic poem I wrote back in the 70s and 80s. It took about 10 years. And my criterion for writing that piece, when I sat down with this 3-year-old Katie one day to write, and I started telling her a story, and then she just like went right into it and continued to tell the story, and never mind details, never mind explanations, things just happened. It was all plot. It was all forward motion. So then I realized that Dogs on Mars, I wanted to write it as though I was 4 years old. I wanted to have these big, wide open eyes of everything's alive and animistic. So my criterion for writing it were to use no adjectives, to have it all happen in present tense and forward progress, and not explain anything, and in fact, drop the characters every once in a while and start completely different books. So it's episodic, and yet the overall view is a bit like shifting channels. After a while, there's a kind of rhythm to it. And but the rules were very clear. The linguistic rules were this animistic vitality of things that allowed me to create all these monsters and microcosms and macrocosms and all of that. And so when I went into medicine, I naturally went, oh, it's what I was describing in Dogs on Mars, really. And so I see the...
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I see the spirituality of the universe in an appreciation for everything alive.
Wow.
That's a wonderful thing. It's something I had no appreciation for as a kid at all. I was in nature and of nature, but I was just out to destroy. I know you see it in kids. I see it in my own kids, and I think I like to go on nature walks with them in Mendocino, and we'll follow the river, follow the stream, and I'll say, "Do you see all this moss and these animals and everything's alive and everything's connected to the water?" So that basic information, whether they remember that or not, is like deeply embedded. That appreciation for how things emerge out of the soil and the water. And that's why we're here.
Shall I switch off?
Yeah.
What do you want to do with this?
I don't know. I think I'll have it on my website.
That's a whole hour.
I don't know. Snippets. Actually, what I would like to do is to use part of it for organizing the book. Because I found it, I at this point in my life, I don't have a lot of time to sit down and write
Yeah.
because of the kids and work and all that. So it's almost like I can write it by speaking it, which is novel. I've never done it that way before.
But honestly, I think that because of course the thing about the blood is that it moves. If you have it as illustrations in a book, it's going to be static, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
That too. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So your linking mechanism is going to be you talking rather than
Yeah.
written word, because the
Yeah.
demonstration is going to be written, isn't
And it's actually, after all, what I do. I mean, this all comes out of me saying this over and over and over for thousands and thousands of times in front of someone in front of me with a particular problem. And I'll apply the general to the specific, so it involves them. But at the same time, it's the dynamic of the experience that we're both learning from.
It's good to have
What's in
someone
front
to
of
talk to, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can go to your bedroom, but it's...
I'll sit down and I'll go, now what did I say? But if I have someone in front of me, I'll fall into my rap and that's basically what I want to write is my rap. I'm not trying to reinvent something the way you sit with poetry and labor or hone and polish and sculpt, and I don't have time for that anymore. I really don't. So, and it's not what this is about anyway.
What a pity that everybody doesn't have a dark field microscope at home, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way it is.
You look at your own blood.
Yeah, I do occasionally. Yeah.
Do children have markedly different young blood?
Infants have horrible looking blood.
Well, their blood is completely different.
Yeah, they come quite dirty, and they don't have much of an immune system, and there's a lot of interference from the mother, and the blood is maybe has a lot of basically what occurs in the blood is akin to composting, among other things. So you have the red cells carrying oxygen and CO2, and the vitality of that nourishing all the organs and cells in the body. And you have the white cells producing all of their materials and the cytokines and the antibodies and all the invisible things you can't see in dark field are in the serum, the dissolved vitamins and minerals, but you can see toxic materials, things that are not supposed to be there that are known as artifact, because we don't really want to understand it for no other reason. It's not related to pathology, so forget it. But if we really see what's going on in the human blood, all of the crap left over from cellular metabolism or from a sluggish functioning liver or kidney is basically, if it's not going out, it's sitting in the blood, and the body starts to compost it. You see, after a few hours, fermentation process. You see all of this breakdown byproducts of cells, of white cells that have disintegrated, and all their little cytoplasm in the blood. And the serum, or the dark field, which is the serum, it's invisible, is no longer this clear, undisturbed, pristine night sky that the cells are floating in, but this asteroid belt of chaos that the cells are struggling to survive in. And that is composting, basically. That's how I view the human blood. Is it's a vehicle for composting, and so therefore, because of that phenomenon, that's really not appreciated very much in medicine, anyway. You can see whether or not the body is detoxifying properly, or if it has to do the secondary composting within the blood itself.